real quick, let me show you the counterpoint on this. So Dan Crenshaw, who's also from Texas, which is interesting because obviously Chip Roy is a congressman from Texas as well. Here's Crenshaw giving the opposing point on sort of why you should go with McCarthy.
We all served in different ways, but we mostly served for the same reason, so that we would take the fight to the enemy, and the enemy would no longer take the fight to the American people. We had purpose, we had mission. That was our mission. We have mission up here. Some people have different priorities. Some people want to cut spending. Some people want to fix our mandatory spending problems. Some of us want to fix the border, deal with the Mexican drug cartels that are murdering tens of thousands of Americans a year by poisoning them with fentanyl. There's a lot of missions that we have up here. I don't think that the American people care about any of these so-called missions happening this week. Rules changes, who gets more power, who gets on what committee. I can't think of one American who gives a damn about any of that. They care about the mission. And the conservative agenda is one that will accomplish the mission for the American people the best, but we can't start that agenda until we start governing. That's why we're up here, because we care about mission, we care about service, and we care about the American people, and we care about getting things done.
Karol, what do you think about that take, that it's sort of like, suck it up, U20, like, we've got the majority, it'll be better than the other guys, let's just play through, something to that effect?
So I don't understand the idea that this is somehow embarrassing, that democracy is embarrassing. Like, oh, how embarrassing, not everybody agrees. And especially the left saying it to us, like, oh, how humiliating, you guys don't agree on everything. I hate all of that. That's like ridiculous to me. And what I think Crenshaw is wrong about here is that Americans do understand what is happening. Go to any conservative chat group on the internet. They know what is happening in Congress. They understand this battle. They really do. And yes, they want the bigger agenda passed, absolutely. But they want the people in charge who will be most accountable for passing that agenda. And look, there's so many personality-driven things here, like the fact that Trump supports Kevin McCarthy. That's so big in the background of this. Like, his supporters are like kind of not going along with what he wants. By his supporters, I mean Trump's. And they want somebody new. And they also want people held accountable for the losses that happened in this last election. And they want leadership change. And that's not crazy. That's not embarrassing. That's not humiliating. And that's okay that we all are arguing it out. I love, by the way, I should just add, love that John Cardillo is being called a rhino on Twitter. I find that
it's unbelievable. I'm a big squish rhino. I'm being called Dan Crenshaw light. That was one of my favorite. I can't even stand the guy.
So happy.
That's actually hilarious. It's one thing if I get called a rhino, but Cardillo, like, something really ain't right.
The biggest dissonance, I mean, this is right up there with people saying, like, Cardillo, he doesn't go hard in the paint. You know, that's not a guy that really throws down on the right. I'm like, go back at his Twitter feed like a month and tell me who else is throwing the kind of punches that John. But anyway, put that aside for a second. Somehow there's just this carve out where it's fine for Donald Trump to push for McCarthy. And this is where I say to people, come on now. If we're going to do this thing where they're going to fillet people on Twitter about how they're squishes and they're fakes. And by the way, I haven't come. I'm a proud fence sitter on this issue. I'm like, look, I think there could be a better speaker. I think McCarthy would probably be more or less, you know, maybe with some concessions. Okay, I don't really care. I actually think I agree with actually a lot of what Crenshaw said about how this doesn't really. I agree that it doesn't really matter. I don't think it's fair that people don't know what's going on, but I don't think it changes all that much. But the fact that Trump is able to come out in favor and basically tell everybody, we'll vote for McCarthy, and no one's saying, well, Trump is a rhino squish, who's a big Trump supporter. I mean, that just goes to show you here that I think people, this is about.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from BlazeTV with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here.